The details for the global update of 1.13 are now all here. The server will be down for maintenance during these times and last for approximately 6.5 hours. And very excitedly, we do indeed get the Lunar Celebration event with login rewards, an event store with some really great stuff here, including Chaos Rune selection chests. And there'll be some new event buffs. There are some particularly notable updates with some big improvements here, some more general ones with bug fixes, and then some UI improvements as well. So let's go through all the details in this video, what you should know. So first of all, that lunar event. You may have seen in the previous video, we covered the details, but yes, there'll be some daily login rewards. You can get these snake scales and lucky envelopes, and you're gonna, say, visit the lucky statue to obtain millions of extra solent. You're going to be able to get the new currency, the New Year coins from a lot of different areas here, doing resistant contracts, dynamic events, field bosses, co-op dungeons, and even fishing, along with also Amatoy expeditions. You can see more details here as per the Korean blog. You obtain, say, these flowers, and I assume you exchange them for coins, or we'll just straight up obtain coins, and then you'll use them at the NPC to obtain these really good rewards. And as per this list here, you can see we'll get that same profile banner frame, which you can see a little bit of a preview of it here, the title, an emote, some precious crystals, training dew. For us, it will still be training dew as we won't get the mastery update until Telandre, which the date will be announced on January the 28th. So just be aware and make sure you're using that training dew on the characters of which you want to max out your mastery and ideally get to 20 on your main weapons before we get this change. We get a bunch of trade unlock stones. That's different from what Korea gets. We get trade extract stones, rune selection chests, including chaos rune selection chests. I'm assuming you're going to choose what gear slot you want it to go on, like weapons or rings, and then it's going to be random what exact one you get. And we could get, say, 10 per week. And then also active skill growth books and passive skill growth books on purple. As per Korea, we'd get, say, 14 per week. And then just Stellarite. In terms of what these buffs actually are, there seems to be a bit of a typo here. Basically, yes, you're going to be able to get the Happy Lunar buff, which is going to increase your Solent, Abyss contract token efficiency, and mastery gain. I'm not sure why it says efficiency. And then it says this buff won't stack with attack, defense, and hybrid combat buffs, but I assume that's supposed to say it does not stack with currency or experience buffs. They kind of switched this because you'll get the other Lucky Lunar buff, which is boss heavy attack and boss critical hit chance. And so this then doesn't stack with, say, attack, defense, and hybrid combat buffs. As per the Korean blog, again, you can see the details of exactly the numbers here of how much you would gain. And it's really good with the Lucky Luna buff there with the 50% Solent and 50% weapon mastery. That's usually out of the norm as you'd have to choose between either. But then we get to the notable updates, and this comes with some massive improvements. Now, many of these details you may have seen before, again, as Korea did get those earlier, including the weapon mastery update. But unfortunately, we're not getting that till much later, but there is some prep for that and some still very good updates we're getting here. So there'll be the new currency tab. You see that here with, say, my inventory. All of these, say, dimensional essences, these soul shards will all have their own section here, along with abyss coins, resistance medals, and even arena coins, rather than taking up so much space in your inventory. That's a huge quality of life improvement. Party members, you can now have it properly sorting the number of the party members and not just the order of the display. It was really weird with that. And field bosses, you will now actually see the guild contribution percentage. It will be displayed by default under the minimap like this right here, exactly how you would see in inter-server events. Shadowed Crypt will now have those chests like in Serodoma Island. These drop you selection chests to give you contract tokens. The crafting NPCs are finally getting updated. You won't have to all stack in Stoneguard Castle. You can now go to Vienta Village or even Castleton and those purple crafters will now be here with all the recipes. Guild buffs, there will be 3 new types. The details again were in the Korean update. There will be one that increases weapon specialization, so weapon mastery by 10% on max level. You can see the details of that here. It lasts for 24 hours, costing 455,000 solent and over 2,800 of this pure gold. You then also have one that boosts life skills at max level. That's 15%, again having a 24-hour duration, and it will require 660 of mana steel and mistwood. And then instant resurrection. You can instantly resurrect up to 24 people at max level. The details are right here. It's got an hour cooldown and a 30-meter radius of the user. You get 100% health and mana, but the player count is reduced depending on the level, if the level of the guild is lower. That's 2,800 of rune leather and pure gold. And additionally, you can gain 10% extra solent for 24 hours rather than the previous 4%. But yes, the cost goes up quite significantly. But they did remove the standard XP buff from the list. Another huge improvement is dimensional trials. When you go and complete them, you will actually be able to open the 2-star dungeon chest at the end. So if I do Carmine Rage Island, I will now actually be able to open the chest, spending my tokens to get all of this loot. That's huge, because now I don't have to run, say, both of them, trials and 2-star dungeons. Be aware, Siege, the time will be changing over to 8 PM for your server instead of 4. And the rune system, your bag will now have 300 slots. This is indeed the case already on Korea. You now won't have to sort your runes so often. And weekly reset. You will no longer be able to sneakily be online as it resets before the server goes under maintenance. So reset will now be 8 o'clock UTC. And then we have a bunch of general updates here. I will just cover some of the notable ones, but you can read the full list. Ultimately, some food will no longer stack, only miscellaneous ones are supposed to stack. As per Korea, they updated the icons, maybe we'll get that too, and they'll look like this. This is how it's in game, and you have additional categories as well, like mana recovery, instant healing, utility, and the rest is as before. Your purification stones will once again work in arenas, along with cooking getting reverted back to how it was intended. This is great because the current form of cooking just fills your inventory up with different qualities of the same food, which is super annoying in my opinion. And yes, those of you on controller got a fix to Gate of Infinity, you can now properly claim your rewards. There was some adjustments to Gale Rush, a fix so it will properly remove the CC there, and it should be much easier to target enemies when they're slightly higher elevation than you. Then we have some UI improvements like closing pop-ups automatically, displaying in gear tooltips what gear pieces you actually have that contribute to a set, allowing for different angles within the mirror boutique. You can see that right here. You can say look down, you can look up a bit, and you can move it around a bit more. We did get some improvements to chat here and a fix to this targeting setting. And that's overall about it. Some, again, great improvements here, and really good to see we're actually getting another event. These go a long way to help with the downtimes and to improve the content that we're currently stuck with repeating. We'll actually be able to get event rewards for doing our contracts, doing our dungeons, our dynamic events, and field bosses. Overall, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow, and a special thank you to the extra support of these channel members.